It's very interesting. My slide is not moving now. Well, that's very interesting. My slide not moving. Why? Yeah. Oh, that's very. My slide all got jammed suddenly. This is really interesting. It's not going downwards. Okay. Where? Click here. Okay. Where? I can't see Can't see the arrow Oh, okay. Technicalities. Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MPME briefing on Trade Mission to 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧. The webinar is organized to provide information about the trade mission and 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧. What is 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧 all about? Government trade assistance programs and information pertaining to requirements for exports to EU. Today, we are honored to have subject matter experts related to today's webinar. And without further ado, let's begin the webinar. The MPME Trade Mission is managed by MPME and funded by the Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation (MATRADE) under the Empower Trade Association Grant (ETA). 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧 2022 is held in Düsseldorf, Germany from 14 to 17 November 2022. Now, this is the main information about the trade mission. Let me move on. So what's the objectives of the MPME Trade Mission? Is to assist companies in the plastics medical device sector to explore and expand their export market. One of the main objectives is to set up a MPME pavilion at 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧 2022 for companies in the medical device sector to develop business opportunities. We hope that by doing so, this will help enable companies to promote themselves to companies seeking suppliers, or for the companies to seek business meetings with other exhibitors at 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧 or Medica for business matchmaking. Now, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of our subject matter experts for this morning, who will provide information about 𝗠𝗶𝗀𝗧. She is the sales representative of 𝗪𝗧 Worldwide. She is the official representative for 𝗪𝗧 Worldwide with over 10 years as a sales director for 𝗪𝗧 Worldwide, with a specialty in business development as a speaker and networker. She achieved a Master of Arts in Innovation Management from Central St. Martin's College of Art Design, UK, and awarded Best Business Plan Presentation by the London Business School. For the record, 𝗪𝗧 Worldwide represents 𝗪𝗧 Düsseldorf, 𝗪𝗧 Frankfurt, and the Hanover Trade Show. These shows are considered to be leading trade shows in Europe. And without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to present Ms. Lai Lin Fong. Lin, all yours.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Francis, for this introduction. For some of you, I don't think I am a stranger because I know Mr. Y.A. Liu here, as well as some of the others who are also present. So I will start off first with a video so that at least you guys have some, insights into what is happening over there. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, a little snippet as to what 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗪𝗏 is all about. And I'm sure for some of you who have actually been to Medica would have also paid a short visit to 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗪𝗏, which is also in the same fairground. Now, just give you a little bit of a breakdown as to why 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 and the reasons behind 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 as well. So 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 is not a new show. It has been around for the last 10 years at least, and it has been co-located together with Medica, which is the foremost and leading and probably the biggest med tech exhibition held in Düsseldorf, Germany. This is where on average we get about 5,000 exhibitors, as well as attracting up to 130,000 visitors. 𝗪𝗏 is no stranger to that particular event, but because we are looking at things differently this time around, we would like to see companies who are actually in the components business meet the demands of medical device manufacturing through participation at 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏. So, with expectations already clearly exceeding, we have received 46,000 visits from 150 countries and 3,523 exhibitors from 70 countries. Now, you might ask, how is it that they got able to squeeze in this much from last year? Okay, this is actually a combination from 2021, where we had a smaller version of Medica, as well as that of 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏, right? But in totality, it usually is about 5,000 plus exhibitors and 130,000 visitors. So 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 is actually where the high-tech bit happens, but it also does not mean that companies like yourselves with medical, or rather parts that go into medical devices, are nonetheless low-tech. It is actually requiring a lot of high-tech precision technologies in order to make sure that you are able to produce such products for the medical industry. The components at a glance, as you can see, are the manufacturing of components, finished products, services, manufacturing equipment, components, modules, OEM equipment, electrical components, microtechnology, raw materials, adhesives, software, and IT. So in the case of the plastics manufacturers, your raw materials, your components, and the manufacturing, of components will play into the part of how you can contribute to the medical device sector. Here we also have a few of the high-level concentrated expertise forums. One is a high-tech forum by 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗏, and this is where 3D printing, nanotechnologies, and microsystems technologies are presented. While we also have the 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 Suppliers Forum by the DeviceMed organization, where it talks about the process chain, or in this case, the supply chain, the electronic components and innovative materials, manufacturing processes, as well as manufacturing service of all kinds is also discussed here. Now, of course, this is irrelevant at this point in time because your discussions for cost is actually together with MPMA, but it is also just to highlight that the meeting point for manufacturers and suppliers are actually at 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏. All right, these are just some of the useful tips and the links that we would encourage you. One in particular is the 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 matchmaking tool that we have, which means B2B meetings can be organized at 𝗠𝗣𝗪𝗏 in itself. However, you need to do your own due diligence as to whom you would like to meet and whom you like to also invite, right? At the same time, you can also access arrival and accommodations, but my suggestions would always be to ensure that you find a private home over a hotel, because hotels in Germany, specifically during this time, will cost you 400% more. But that wraps up my presentation, and I hope that you have any questions for me.
Thanks, Lynn. We will do the Q&A afterwards.
Yeah, no problem.
In the meantime, let me go back to my share screen and hope won't get stuck again. Okay, good. Our next speaker will talk about the government assistance trade programs for companies, and in particular, our next speaker will talk about the market development grant, its eligibility and claims. Our speaker is a very experienced speaker from 𝗪𝗲𝗡. She has a Bachelor of Business Administration honors at University Technology Mayra. She has been with the Finance Unit and the Market Development Unit of 𝗪𝗲𝗡, and she is currently the Assistant Manager of the Market Development Unit of 𝗪𝗲𝗡. I now present Puan Rozana Abdul Razak. Puan Rozana, okay, you can proceed. Puan?
Hold on, yeah. I'll share the slides.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, can,
Okay.
Puan.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me begin. Sorry. Okay, my name is Rozana. I'm from Market Development Unit, 𝗪𝗲𝗡, in charge of Market Development Brand. Okay. I will present on what are the eligible criteria for market development, and these are the contents that I will be presenting today. Okay. Okay. Basically, MDG or Market Development Grant is a reimbursable grant on the eligible expenses incurred. In other words, this grant you need to spend first, and when you come back from any exhibition, then only you can claim from MDG. Okay, the objective of this grant is to assist SMEs, professional services providers, trade and industry associations, chambers of commerce, professional bodies, and cooperatives in undertaking eligible export promotion activities. Okay, and the ceiling amount for each company is 300,000 per life. And these are the and these are the activities that you can claim under market development grant, that is participation in international trade fairs or exhibition. Number two, participation in trade investment mission or export acceleration missions. And activity 3, participation in international conference held overseas. And the last one, listing fees for made in Malaysia products in hypermarkets or supermarkets or retail centers or boutiques, outlets located overseas. And these are the mandatory requirements that all applicants need to fulfill. That are all applicants must be a 𝗪𝗡𝗡 member. Okay, company must register with 𝗪𝗡𝗡 member under the Malaysia Export Registry, MER. You can find this in our website. And applicant must not public listed companies. Okay, not in the main Bursa Malaysia or main bourses in other countries, and not a subsidiary of any MNC, DLC, or any government equity, federal or states. Okay, and applicant must be an active business entity, which means company should not be a dormant or less than 1 year operation or not eligible, are not eligible to claim. Meaning that an applicant needs to have an audited accounts in order for you to claim under MDG. And also, applicant must not fully subsidized or sponsored by other entity or agencies or associations. Okay, And these are the eligibility criteria. Okay, for cooperatives, must incorporated under Cooperative Societies Act, must export initial products, must be at least have 60% equity owned by Malaysians, and the main business activity is for exporting made in Malaysia products or services, and must register as matrix member. For trade and industry associations, chambers of commerce, and professional bodies must be registered under Register of Societies (ROS) or associated professional authority. Okay, these are the eligibility criteria, and also the maximum amount for each activity. For activity 1, for participation in international trade fair or exhibitions overseas, maximum grant amount for exhibition held in Malaysia is 5,000. For exhibitions held overseas, up to 25,000. Okay. Events of this exhibition must be a B2B event. For B2C, you are not eligible to claim under this activity 1. The next activity is participation in trade and investment missions or export acceleration missions. Okay, if you are jointly participate with jointly organize or participate with Matrade, the eligible amount is 10,000 ringgit, and other than Matrade, other entities up to 2,000 ringgit Malaysia. And for participation in conferences held overseas, the maximum amount is 2,500. Okay. And for listing fees in supermarkets, hypermarkets overseas, the maximum grant amount is to 20,000. Okay. What are the supporting documents that is required for this MBG? Okay, you can see that manufacturing, what are the documents are required to be submitted to us. Okay, basically most of them are almost the same, only 1 or 2 that is not the same. Okay, you can refer this later. Okay, for claim documentations, participation in international trade fair. Okay, for participation fee, what are the required documents that you need to submit to us is proof of payment, including invoices, receipt of bank statement, and also proof of presence. And for both construction or enhancement, also invoice and receipts. And the rest is also the same. Invoice and receipts are the most important documents that is required to be submitted to us. And for airfare, you need to submit flight itinerary, boarding pass, or passport with immigration stamp or entry into and exit of foreign country. Okay. For if you can see that there is a note down there. Okay, for both construction or enhancement, printing materials for brochures or something like that is not claimable under MBG. Okay, for airfare, ticket from Malaysia into and exit from the country of event only. Okay, for accommodation, additional nights from the actual date of event or maximum 6 nights, whichever is lower. For participation in international this one. Participation in international trade investment mission or export acceleration mission. For team or EAM organized by Matrade, maximum grant amount is 10,000. What claimable is our participation fee, airfare, and also accommodation. Okay, entities for jointly organized with Madrid are including Ministry or Government Agency, Chambers of Commerce, Trade and Industry Association, professional body, and cooperatives. And for team or EAM by other agencies or not jointly organized with Madrid, the maximum grant amount is 2,000. What are the claimable expenses are participation fees, airfare, and also accommodation. For participation in international conference, what are the eligible expenses are participation fees and also sorry? Okay. Any question? No? Okay. What are the eligible expenses are participation fee, accommodation, and also airfare for the maximum grant amount of 2,500. Okay, for listing fees, if it is directly listed with the hypermarket, the proof of payment of listing fees must be furnished, and also invoices from the hypermarket and offer or invitation letter from the hypermarket, contract or agreement with duty stamp with the hypermarket. And for if there is an authorized agent involved in this activity, proof of payment to the authorized agent, as well as the invoice from the authorized agent, offer or invitation letter from the hypermarket, and also contract or agreement between the company and the authorized agent with the supermarket or hypermarket. Okay, these are the, as you can see, these are the, what are the claimable expenses and also what expenses covered under each activities. Okay, this has been explained just now. You can refer this afterwards. And this is how to apply MDG. We can go to our website. These are the homepage of our website. Okay, we can go to the online application down there for the tab online application, and we can choose market development run. Okay, here you should choose whether it is a physical event or virtual events. Okay, these are number four. Number four is very important. You need to have your matric number. That is why you are required to register as matric member to get this matric registration number in order for you to in order for you to get that online application form. Okay, as well as ROC or ROS number. Okay. You need to fill up all the things in the online application form, because it is not auto saved. You need to fill up everything in one session. That is why you need to we need to prepare all the documents so that it is easier for you to upload it in our online application form. Okay. Okay, for company, submission of claim must be within 30 calendar days from the last date of the exhibition. Okay, for organizer, also within 30 days from the last date of the event held locally. And for team or EAM, within 14 working days from the team or EAM ends. Okay, some important notes here. You must read and understand the guidelines. Okay, register as matric member. Claim documents must be original and scanned in color. Then you apply online. for documents which are not in English language, you must translate it to English language. Okay, for claim documents, it must be under company's name. Okay. That is why we will you are required to submit the EPF statement or also the form of annual return so that we can cross-check with the document and also your company's employees so that it is actually your employees that are going to that exhibition and not other persons outside your company. Okay, inform on any changes of address or account number and response on time. And I would suggest you to give us the active email address so that you can check your email on daily basis. And last but not least, get the right info from the website, or also you can contact us or email us anytime. Okay, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Puan Rozana. Thank you.
Most welcome. Yeah.
We will do the Q&A after the next presentation, Puan.
Yes, sure. No problem.
Can you stop share, please, Puan? Yeah, thanks. Okay. Mr. Tay, are you there, Mr. Tay? Mr. Tay? Let me check with the next speaker. Mr. Tay, you are there?
Yes, Francis. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Let me make the introduction first, okay? Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, our next speaker will speak about the export requirements to Europe. He is from 𝗪𝗪𝗠𝗔, Malaysia. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Campbell University. He has held various profiles with 𝗪𝗪𝗠𝗔 and he is the current MHS team leader. With that, I will let Mr. Chris Tay now talk about this export requirements. Mr. Tay, please proceed.
Yep.
Yeah, you can share your slides.
Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yeah, all good.
Right. Okay. Okay. So generally, this is I will just give a general profile of our companies and what are the services that we offered and what are the requirements generally that you need for export markets to EU and other countries as well. So for those which are not familiar with our company, 𝗪𝗪𝗠𝗔'𝘀 is actually a German company. Our HQ is especially based in Munich, Germany, and we have over 150 years of experience and with over 1,000 locations worldwide. We have over 24,000 employees. Presence in ASEAN is, of course, we have office in Shah Alam, and also we have Asia Pacific HQ is actually in Singapore. So basically, we do a lot of testings. We are actually a testing, certification, and inspections certification service provider. So there are actually, we have a global network, as I mentioned just now. So we handle actually more than 700 medical devices, experts, and across 15 countries, and most in industries. So listed here in some of the major countries of presence that we have for our medical health services segment. So Malaysia is, of course, one of the key countries which is we have presence in. So generally, we understand, as I mentioned, your technologies deliver product expertise. So we do product testings and we do product certifications for the list of medical devices, whether it's active, non-active, implants, in vitro, or even high-risk devices. Okay. So basically, these are our core areas that we come in as at the initial design development phase to the end of productions and monitoring QC and QA process. So basically, manufacturers can actually look for us to help them in some of the setup to the commercializations of the products. Okay, and this is actually some of the product risk. I mean, what we do, what are the typical product developments by manufacturers from business plan up to the level of CE marking as well, which is for requirements for export to Europe. So basically, and the bottom part is actually what are the services where we came in actually during the regulatory strategy reviews, the product safety testings, preclinical and clinical strategy modular reviews, preclinical modular reviews, validations, and to the stage of design dossier review, which will be like off-site and on-site, can be arranged. So on basically, we do, as I mentioned earlier, we do testings and assessments. For this is what we call non-active. Non-active, what we find are actually devices which does not use electricity, whether it's dry cell or you plug into the wall with electricity. Those are actually considered as active device. So for non-active, I think for Malaysia, we have a lot of clients. I think this is an industry base. Basically, we have a lot of catheters and rubber-based products manufacturers in Malaysia. So basically, that's how we come in to support on some of the product safety testings, like the ISO 10993 requirements, the biological and physical and chemical testing requirements, the sterilization requirements, and also the packaging testings as well. Then, of course, for active device, as I mentioned just now, products which are using dry cell or even batteries. So basically, we have a one-stop testing hub in Singapore as well that conducts this range of testings, the IEC 60601 requirements, functional safety, software, NRTL, and all those EMC and CB requirements. So basically, we provide one-stop testing assessments. Let's say if you need to export to certain country requirements, so we will be able to be the third party that will test your particular products to comply with the necessary standard requirements. And of course, we also do functional safety because for electrical devices, electrical instruments, you need to have this to be tested as well. So you need to make sure that the product will function and reliable is an issue during operation. So some of the services that we actually offer is actually we conduct the functional safety testing prior to the commercializations of the products. And of course, nowadays we have also a lot of software services. That's why all of them are actually electrical based. We need to be tested with the new requirements, which is IEC 62304 for software as well. So basically, these are some of the, we will issue certificates, testing reports to actually fulfill the requirements of the individual countries' export needs. Okay, so for this, I think this is just a very general the picture. So basically, some of the new industries that we are facing and actually we are focusing on now is Industry 4.0, wearable technologies, tissue engineering, 3D printings. Nowadays, we have a lot of medical devices which are actually that venture into 3D printings, implants, and human genome engineering. So these are some of the new technologies that are evolving. I think not only in Malaysia, basically it's a global trend. So we are seeing a lot of new medical devices which are being manufactured based on these new requirements at the current stage. So they are innovative and novel technologies, as I mentioned just now. So basically, we have a range of experts which can actually certify those novel products. So this is actually our 𝗬𝗎 certification mark. So basically, if you can see from some of the product labels which are using our company 𝗬𝗎, you will see the CE 0123. This is actually our notified body numbers. So this is 0123 is actually specific numbers given to notify body for CE marking. So our number is 0123. It's very easy to remember. So remember, you see a products which have this CE 0123 marking, meaning that those products are actually evaluated by 𝗬𝗏. So these are the range of services that I mentioned that you need to comply with. Basically, for market access Europe, you will need to have there's this new requirements, MDR and IVDR, which actually is replacing the MDD and AIMDD and IVDD requirements which have been in the market for the past few years. Of course, there are other countries' requirements as well. The common one at the moment is medical device single audit program, MDSAP. So basically, for this particular program, there are 5 countries which recognize this. Currently, compulsory is actually for Canada. If you want to market a product in Canada, you need to have this MDSAP audits to be performed. So basically, other than that, common certification, quality management certification services that we do provide, like 13485, 9001, or even the 49701 and other necessary quality management system. So basically, these are some of the services that we actually provide. So we support basically for your market access, not only to Europe, I think is globally. If you have certain requirements, country requirements that you need to penetrate, we can actually provide the market approval and certification to enable your products to be placed in the respective countries. So these are generally the profile based on market approval and certification, some of the requirements, basically when you want to market. I think each individual regulatory countries, they have their own individual requirements. Like for Malaysia, we are, of course, one of the CAB under MDA as well. So we do product registrations, we do GTPMD, we do ISO audits for Malaysia access. Of course, for Europe, we do MDR, as I mentioned, MDD previously was MDD, AIMDD, and IVDD. So basically, and as I mentioned earlier as well, our notify number 0123. And of course, other countries' requirements are all here actually. So basically, we have the expertise which can actually support for your market access. Okay, then this is a new requirement, just not actually new. It has been enforced compliance since 2020, May 2020. So basically, this was actually the time frame of the process which have many manufacturers have actually gone through, especially they need to place a market the products in Europe. They will have to comply with these MDR requirements. Basically, for this requirements, for class 1 devices, I think most of the manufacturers, they will know their risk class classification. So for class 1 device, non-sterile without measuring function, these currently products are actually self-declared. So you will just need to appoint an EC representative in Europe, and actually the EC representative will perform a product registration with the respective countries, regulatory countries, just like similar with MDA. So if you are class 1 sterile and above, 2A, 2B, like for example, catheters or surgical gloves, those particular range of products will require a notified body like us to certify. So we will actually be reviewing technical files for this range of products and certifying this range of products. Okay, and then these are some of the key changes. Probably some of you are aware of MDD previously and the difference of MDD and MDR. These are the common key areas of changes which have happened. Right, for example, product scope or expansions, implementations of these UDI codings. Okay, of course, there are more rigorous post-market oversights, and there's this identification of person responsible. And of course, there are some common specification changes. The main challenge is on the reclassification as well, because a lot of products are actually being upclassed. Products which are class 1 previously probably is being upclassed to a higher risk class products. So this range of higher risk class products will require a notified body for review before they can actually place the products in Europe. And then, of course, there are more rigorous clinical evidence, especially for class 3 and implant devices. Okay, class 3 devices I'm looking at, of course, for example, pacemaker or even implants which will stick in your body actually for a long term. So those products are actually very high risk. So it involves more rigorous clinical evidence review as well. And then there's a systemic clinical evaluation of class 2A and 2B products, and there's no grandfathering provision as well. So basically, previously we have this OEM PLM principle. So basically with this MDR, this no longer happens. Okay, then there is this another regulations which is involving in vitro diagnostics. I think nowadays we see a lot of COVID test kit as well. Those are considered IVD products. So those products actually falls under these regulations. So this is actually the time frame. Transition actually ends this year, actually in 2022. So basically, devices which have existing IVDD certs can still place the products in the market until 2024. But for other products which are not complying with the previous IVDD requirements, they will need to comply with the IVDR products to be in place in Europe. And then there is this particular calculations which mentioned that 80% of products which were actually self-declared previously under IVDD currently actually requires a notified body to be certified this range of products. Therefore, we see the peak and the needs. Actually, there are a lot more IVD products which will be reviewed by notified bodies in the coming years as well. Okay, then these are actually the key changes that are happening, that has happened to IVDR. More or less, I think is same in the previous slides like MDR. Probably the thing that I mentioned, there's an increased notified body involvement, because as I mentioned, 80% of the products which was previously self-declared currently requires a notified body to review before they can actually place the products in the market. So these are something that probably you take note if you are actually manufacturing an IVD products. Okay, so of course we also have a clinical expert team. We call it a clinical center of excellence in our HQ in Germany. We perform clinical evaluations for products to comply with the MDR and IVDR requirements, which is something that you need to comply with fully if you wish to place your products in Europe. And then I think that's generally our presentation. Then these are some of the areas that why you need to choose to suit, or maybe I just skip this. So basically, yeah, then there are some essential websites that you can actually log into. We will actually send out like monthly updates on news and regulations. Yeah, so yeah, that's it from my side. Basically, one more thing, I think with 𝗠𝗣𝗯𝗏, I think we will also be present in the Medica exhibition as well in Düsseldorf. We have a booth all this while in Medica. So because as I mentioned, our HQ is actually based in Munich. So we do have a very strong presence in Medica as well. So you can look for our booth if you are there. Then you can check with our expert for further information as well. Yeah, I think that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put back on my screen. Okay, let's move on with the slides. Just a few more slides I need to present, and then we can do the Q&A. So let's cover this topic now: selection criteria, expectation, and costs. Okay, the selection criteria is basically 10 companies in the the selection criteria will cover companies in the medical sector. 10 companies will be selected. Businesses equipped or in the process of adopting ISO 13485 medical devices, quality management systems, and or CE mark within the medical supply sector. Export-ready companies with proven track record medical devices exports would be an added advantage. All applications will be subjected to a final acceptance by Martrade, and each exhibitor is advised to send at least 2 representatives to manage the booth and explore business opportunities. Now, this is the selection criteria for MPMA in adopting the 10 companies that will make up the MPMA pavilion at 𝗠𝗣𝗯𝗏. Now, these are the preferred criteria. Preferred criteria is not compulsory, it's preferred. So we can take questions from companies later if they got if you have any queries about this selection criteria. Now, the expectations that Martrade has on MPMA managing this 10 exhibitors at Compromat is that the 10 exhibitors are required to achieve a total sales volume of 250 million, an average of 25 million per company over a period of 5 years after Compromat 2022. Exhibitors must disclose their sales achievements and other feedback required by Martrade after the trade fair. So this is the expectation on Martrade when they gave MPMA this certain amount of money to manage the 10 exhibitors at Compromat. So now, what are the costs that companies and will need to understand when participating at Compromat with the MPMA? So costs covered under the Martrade ETA grant include the space rental exhibition area at Compromat, the booth construction, equipment rental, digital marketing, which is the media fees paid to Messe Düsseldorf for Compromat trade show. So on the left are the costs which are covered under the Martrade ETA grant with MPMA for the MPMA pavilion at Compromat. So now, what are the claimable items which companies who would be participating, who are selected to participate with MPMA in the MPMA pavilion at Compromat can claim under the MDG? Okay, we have this slide prepared. If there's any questions, you can further ask Puan Ruzana, who's still in the room. Okay, so now we understand that for the market development grant, you can, for the participating at Compromat under the ETA, it's up to 25,000. So this would include the commitment fee, which companies need to pay to MPMA to participate under the Compromat program. Claimable under the MDG will also include the flight and accommodation, okay, and booth enhancements, okay. Now, other expenses to be borne by the exhibitors would include submission of samples, daily meals, travel insurance, any personal incidentals. There's a figure there of 135. This can vary, of course. So basically, what this slide shows is that the costs which companies will need to undertake with MPMA for participating in the MPMA pavilion at Compromat. I must stress actually that everything is actually covered by Martrade. Okay, in terms of the space rental, the booth construction, equipment rental, and digital marketing. So whatever expenses that companies will incur to participate will be like your commitment fee, which you can claim under MDG, and your flight and accommodation, which you can also claim under MDG, but up to a limit of 25,000. And some booth enhancements, like if you want, also claimable under the MDG. Okay, let me move on to the next slide. So now this is a proposed itinerary which was designed for the members if you plan to take it with MPMA. We are using one of our travel agents, and they have proposed this for consideration. You will leave KL on the 12th of November, and you return sometime on the 18th November. And you can see some costs for twin sharing or single occupancy. So now our travel agent that we have selected to work out this package for members who would like to come with MPMA is Ms. Fong of Orex Travels and Tours. And you can inquire with her through the email and handphone which is provided. Now, if you need to contact her for more information, of course, we can provide you a contact. So this is just proposed plan for companies' consideration. Okay, let me move on to the next slide. Okay, what are the next steps for companies to consider? Okay, you need to register your interest by 30th of August. Successful members are required to provide the following details: your product, the products that you will exhibit, your company profile, and the name of the company representatives for the who will be in the booth at for Compromat. Successful applicants will be notified by 7 September. Business matchmaking tool is available to exhibitors only. This tool is to help companies identify potential customers and facilitate business meetings at 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗪. Okay. So I think this is the business matchmaking tool, I think, is very useful for companies who will participate in the pavilion with MPMA at 𝗠𝗣𝗪. So these are the next steps for companies who are interested. Register your interest, and then successful applicants will be notified by 7 September. Okay, what is the next slide? Okay, let's do the Q&A session. Punita, can you help to allow everyone to...
Yes, they can unmute themselves now.
Okay, let me stop share. I think, let me understand this a bit. There's one question here first, I think that we should address. Wait, just hold on. I'm just looking at some of the questions posted in the group. Okay. Okay, let's do this one first. Puan Rosanna, there's a question here. Can the MDG, I think he's talking about the MDG grant, be extended to mid-tier companies where total revenue is more than 50 million, but medical revenue less than 5 million?
Sadly, to announce that mid-tier companies are not eligible to claim under MDG because MDG is only for SMEs. SMEs only.
Okay. Mr. Tan, you wrote something here, and how long to reimburse? I think the question here is basically that if you are successful in applying for MDG, you meet the criteria. How long will the reimbursement be made back to the company concerned?
If it's everything in order, it's the documentations are in order. You can take 2 or 3 months to reimburse back.
Or 3
but it
months.
depends on the number of applications that are pending now in MDG. We will process according to first in and first out.
Oh, first in, first out. Okay. Actually, Puan, just want to ask you this about the MDG. For this year so far, has there been many applications for the MDG for this year?
Yes, we have about 6,000 to 7,000 applications.
Wow, that's
pending to be processed. And let me correct on some of the just now some of the slides given, because if I'm not mistaken, just now in your slide stated that companies are eligible to claim up to 25,000.
Yes.
That one is for trade exhibitions or a trade fair. If the company go to the trade fair by their own, okay, that one they can claim up to 25,000. But if the companies are going with an association or with 𝗪trade or with any other government agencies, that will fall under activity 2 of MDG. Okay, which is the maximum amount that company can claim for if it is jointly organized with 𝗪trade, okay, up to 10,000. But if it's not jointly organized with 𝗪trade, companies that is going under that trade and investment mission or export acceleration mission, they can only claim up to 2,000.
So how does sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay. Can I share the my slide?
Yeah, sure.
So that everybody can look at it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. What I'm referring just now at this slide. Okay, 2 different things. For activity 1, participation in trade exhibition, trade fairs or exhibitions up to 25,000 if it's overseas.
Mm.
And if it's participation in trade investment mission or acceleration mission,
Mm.
okay, jointly organized with Madrid up to 10,000. Or if it's organized by an association, jointly organized with Madrid is only up to 2,000.
Okay.
And for activity 2, there will be an announcement because it was just very recently decided by the top management of Madrid. We will suspend this activity 2 up to further notice because due to budget constraint to MDG, we need to suspend it for temporary time lah for this activity number 2.
Okay.
So if its company is going to participate on their own, then they can claim under activity which is 25,000.
Okay.
It was only very recently decided by the top management on this activity 2 to be suspended maybe this week or next week.
So can I ask a question upon Rosanna?
Yes.
So the
Yes.
ETA, with
Yeah.
MPMA,
Mhm.
does it fall under this number 2?
ETA.
Yeah, the ETA with MPMA, does it fall under number 2?
ETA is not jointly organized with Madrid. ETA is a grant given by Madrid to association for association to organize a mission or any trade investment mission with the members. And in other words, association is doing Madrid's work on behalf of Madrid.
Okay. So for the companies that participate with in the MPMA Pavilion at Compromat, that means they fall under number 1?
If they directly involved with Compromat directly, then they are entitled to up to 25,000 per company.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the explanation.
Yes.
Okay, let me just run through the questions again. Let's see. Thank you for the explanation, Rosanna.
Most welcome.
So I think Mr. Jensen Lim had asked this question since the exhibition is about 80 days away. How long for Madrid to process the application? If you're talking about the application to participate at Compromat, I think Puan Rosanna had in her slides had earlier already highlighted that companies will only make the application to MDG after the exhibition, isn't it, Puan Rosanna?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And how long do they have to submit that application?
30 days after the last date of the exhibition.
So they can produce all their receipts and all that to show evidence lah. Okay. So I hope Jensen, that answers your question, Jensen. Okay.
Also make sure that you take into consideration the public holidays and weekends.
No.
No more?
The 30 days calendar. Calendars. I mean calendars including weekends.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Yes.
So everything you need to take into consideration.
Yes.
So 30 days does not mean that you don't count your weekends or your public holidays. It's all inclusive.
Yes, that's a good question.
Because there were companies who said, but 30 days, if you count your weekends and your public holidays, for sure. So even on a public holiday, if you need to submit on a public holiday, you submit it. Yes.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, Lynn and Puan Rosanna. Okay, I think Mr. Jensen Lim had one more question here about the commitment fee. Yes, the commitment fee, Jensen, is payable to MPMA, and the net amount is, I think according to my slide, was 10K in it for members.
Okay,
I think there was, yeah, Jensen, come.
So it means after the commitment fee, whatever we claim, that means it's net about 15,000 to the participants and the exhibitors, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah, but basing on this kind of exhibition, 15,000, if we request 2 representatives from the company, air freight, everything in, I think the company is still bearing a big portion of the expenses, right?
You can claim up to 15,000 for, yes, Travel
Yes,
and
because you see the
travel and
travel is
accommodation.
really 10,000 per person. So if two
Mm.
person going, which market requires us to meet the minimum requirement is 20,000.
Mm.
So the booth everything in again. So I think you add up to about 50,000.
50,000.
Yeah, because we
No.
still have, because you see the that means is the booth everything is covered by the other grant.
Yes, it's covered.
So it's covered. That means the what Matrix give us is only mainly to be used to be reimburse the expenses
The
for the
commitment fee,
representative
the commitment fee and the
and
flight,
the
travel,
flights, travel.
accommodation.
These two will be
Yes.
covered. Then the other,
Ah.
that means all the booths will be covered under the ETA grant.
Yes, it's
under
covered by
MPMA.
the ETA grant. Yes, by
Okay,
MPMA.
understood. That's clear. Thanks.
Okay.
My the other question is, I think maybe I just direct to Puan. For these instances, can two companies go in to actually join a booth position?
Okay.
No, I feel Lin is shaking the head. Yeah, because you see, my company, I'm doing extrusion. So extrusion, I got no much value to the European countries because there's also a lot of extruders over there. But we can, if I go with my vacuum forming company, my customers, we can actually show a better value because we have vacuum formers who actually export trays over to Europe. But vacuum formers does not be able to give the warranty or the compliances for medical devices because the raw material comes from extruder.
You can share your booth with other companies, but we will MDG will only pay for a company that stated in the invoice and also receipts. We can only
Okay,
pay
all
for
right,
that
okay,
company.
for the company. Okay, all right, understand. Yeah, so that means we will just have to tag in on a non-existent basis, I call it, to go there. Yeah, oh, it's okay.
If you
Okay.
do and management finds out, you will then.
Again, Lin, sorry, I didn't catch you.
If you do go with two companies, but only list one, but have two companies exhibiting, okay, using two names,
Yeah.
you will definitely be asked to leave.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right, understand.
So if you want to be properly represented, my suggestion is bring both companies because you are both complementing each other. All right. If you are both SMEs and you're going two different companies, you are still eligible to claim the MDG grant, provided you meet the criteria that Puan has actually mentioned earlier. All right, because they're two different entities, two SMEs, two representatives, thus and therefore the MDG grant will be applicable should you meet the requirement. However, my suggestion is never write two companies under one because your expenses will double. One, two, you'll forever be banned from 𝗠𝗣𝗡𝗃 and all shows that are run by Mr. Dusukov because you legally exhibited.
Oh, okay, understand. All right.
Yeah,
so okay.
This is important, yeah, because at the end of the day, if you are ISO 18435, etc., compliant, but you do not show yourself properly, you will also be, I would say, not complying to the rules and regulations that the exhibition organizers have put forth.
Okay, all right, understand. All right, good. Okay, I'm fine here. Right.
Okay, Jensen, thanks for the questions, Jensen.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Tan had also raised one more question about the MDG. Is it applicable for visitors? I believe it's not applicable for visitors, isn't it, Puan Rozana?
No, only for
No.
exhibitors.
And one more thing I think I need to highlight, maybe Lynn will correct me here. As a trade visitor, you cannot use the system to generate business meetings. Am I right, Lynn?
If you're a visitor with the intention of learning, you're fine. If you're a visitor intending to sell, I cannot stop you. But at the end of the day, it is up to the exhibitor to choose whether they would like to meet with you or not. So it is a prerogative decided upon by said company, and you will have some setbacks, I would imagine so anyways, because if you're going there as a visitor with the intention of getting business, then the companies who may have agreed with meeting you on first hand would say, I'm sorry, this is not the intention of why we're meeting anyways. So you will have some kind of backlash that will also affect the quality of visitors who may attend 𝗠𝗣𝗡𝗃 or Medica, and it will definitely not help the situation when exhibitors are saying, if that's the case, I would rather not come to 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗏 anymore.
One more thing, I think earlier you mentioned that both shows running parallel. So the exhibitor at 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗏, he can use a system, he can read the profile of all the exhibitors, and including those at Medica, am I right?
Yes.
And he can, of course, because he's an exhibitor, he can actually make business meetings with anybody, whether they're in Medica or 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗏, am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's one of the benefits actually of actually participating as an exhibitor at 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗏. You can also have a meeting with the other people on the other side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, are the halls very far apart or what?
No, let me see if I can find you the hall plan. Right, so this is the entire fairground of Messe Düsseldorf. From halls 1, 7, minus 8A, 8B, all the way 9 to 17, we are Medica. Then 8A and 8B is where 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗏 is. This next to 8A, 8B is actually the stadium called 𝗪𝗲𝗠𝗆spiel Arena. And then between 8A, 8B, and 7 is where the main north entrance is. Okay. Usually those taking the train or the tram in this case is where they arrive here, and is also the most convenient, especially if you're coming from the city center. That being said, you also have options of arriving here at the east entrance, all right? And the east entrance is actually where the 𝗧𝗿𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗑̀𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 audience liking to walk, then you can actually walk to the east entrance or wait for the bus at the bus station that is next to that particular tram station. The other option is that you can arrive at the north entrance or the south entrance. But because you are at 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀, my suggestion is to take the train anyways directly straight to the fairground at the north entrance and proceed to your hall, your booth. Yeah, easiest way. So it's not far. In fact, if you what you call it, it's everything is accessible and indoors as much as we can devise it to be. All right. So if you can see, there are actually walkways linking all the halls together. And even though hall 1 looks like it's a standalone, in actual fact, you can access it via doors and covered canopies, as well as what we call rain shelters. All right. There is a direct, we call it walker later, that connects halls 7, 9 down to the main administrative center that goes into 17, 16, and 15. So you are pretty much within the exhibition grounds. Is not that it's of course 10 times larger than that of KLCC, but at the end of the day, if you're only concentrating within 8B, then it's actually really walkable. If your potential customers are within the strengths of halls 1 to 17, all right, then you would definitely be walking quite a bit. However, my suggestion is never try and aim your luck at walking. Make sure you have your business appointments ready at the go, because the what they call it, most of the exhibitors at Medica are already published online. Same with 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀. Okay, the quicker you sign up with MPMA, the quicker you'll be able to list yourself onto the 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀 directory. The quicker you are on the 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀 directory, the easier it is for companies who are looking for your solutions to also find you. Mind you, because you might be new and the companies may not know that you are going, you need to do pre-show marketing on your own. It can be something that MPMA is able to do on behalf also, through targeted EDMs, social media campaigns, taking out an ad on the 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀 website, for instance. But it is also your responsibility as co-exhibitors under the MPMA pavilion to be able to do your own pre-show marketing. All right. So the responsibility is shared, not just by the main organizer here, nor is it only just 𝗪𝗏𝟏's responsibility to provide you sales leads, because you are your own company. The company should know who you would like to target with, And then you should be able to also start conversations. All right.
Very good clarification, Lynn. Thank you so much. Just out of curiosity, you've been managing 𝗠𝗏𝗧 for a number of years. I think you mentioned something like 10 years now already. 𝗠𝗏𝗧 and Medica. Has there been a number of Malaysian companies that have participated in both Medica and 𝗠𝗏𝗧?
Medica has had a steady, if not exponential, growth in terms of medical device companies from Malaysia. We used to be back in 2012, or no, earlier than that, 2005, we were about maybe 10 to 15. We're now 2022 and we are at 55 companies just under Medica. All right. This is not inclusive of the Matrade Pavilion that usually takes place at Medica. So that even if with Matrade in total, we're about 65 per se, but the 55 that you see are all individual companies going to Medica. That's one. Two, 𝗠𝗏𝗧 is a rather up and down kind of situation. It depends on the company on whether they choose to exhibit. One. Two, we have had 3 to 4 to 5 companies who do go under 𝗠𝗏𝗧 because 𝗠𝗏𝗧 in technicality is very difficult to get space. So in reference to the point that MPME actually got space is a good thing. One. Two, what do you call it? There is always a strong or rather long waiting list when it comes to 𝗠𝗏𝗧. So in this case, we would be looking at majority of companies who are within the manufacturing for medical device industries, because that is what is now needed in order to complement that of the actual finished product that you see at Medica. To answer Ying Yi's question, 55 Malaysian companies are of various sizes, whether they're listed middle or SME, does not matter. We have like Top Glove, Harta Lega. Then we also have UWCM. You also have the smallest SMEs also. This year we have an increased number of companies who are manufacturing face masks. But we also have those who are in facilities management. So it does not matter what size, whether SME, middle, or listed. Which group represent the most? SMEs. Welcome.
These companies that go to 𝗠𝗏𝗧 or even to Medica, I mean, based on your experience and are these companies, do they find success there?
Yes, they do. Medica in particular, also because Malaysia is simultaneous with glove manufacturing as well as condom manufacturing. We are slowly picking up in terms of respiratory products as well. There are headwind in terms of companies looking at digital systems. So there are more and more companies also coming in via that direction. Now, to say whether 𝗠𝗏𝗧 is not a success is actually no. The companies who do go actually are inundated with orders that they do not know when to start, how to start, and also how to address those orders. For instance, there was a company called New Billion who was there, and New Billion actually had more than 55 inquiries. Whether they fulfilled all, it depends. It's just a matter of how they have tackled the ordering situation or the inquiries at that matter. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for the clarification, Lynn. Thank you so much. Maybe I should just ask this question because, we talk about travel today. So what are the restrictions for COVID that...
Zero.
Zero? Just masuk?
Yes.
Okay, man. That's very good to hear. Okay.
It's changed since June anyway, so yeah. There is no more restrictions. All European countries at this point in time, including the UK, are in the endemic phase. So PCR testing, etc., are not required anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay, the floor is open to anybody who would like to ask any questions. Anybody got any further questions to ask? The speakers are here. Puan Zana, Lynn is here. You want to know more about the MDG? I think Puan Zana was very clear about the MDG requirements. Thank you so much for the your presentation one. I think Lynn is also here. She's got great experience, I would say, in this trade show. And so if anybody got any questions to pose about what to expect at a trade show, so I think she has said very clearly that the show is a great it's a great platform for companies to seek business opportunities lah. So it's very clear about that lah.
If anyone here has got any questions and I'm unable to attend to it, Penny is also here. She is from my office. So Penny can also answer on behalf. She's also handling the individual companies at Medica. So she would definitely be able to also assist you. She's been with us for 10 years and she will continue to be with us. And so at the end of the day, if you cannot find me because I'm usually traveling for work, Penny will be able to answer your questions. She's here in the group. I think Darshini and Francis can also help disseminate her mobile number. Penny, would you like to say hi?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Penny.
Can't see her video.
Some of you here know me as well. I deal with some of them for our medical shows.
Okay. Thank you so much, Penny. Actually, maybe now would be a good time for everyone to put on their videos so we can take a quick snapshot. Can everybody put on their videos? I don't mind. Everybody come, Darshini, Penny, everybody, including the participants. Jensen, come. Jensen, Mr. YLU, thank you so much. Jensen is here. Okay.
Mr. Liu, very long time no see you.
Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all.
Travis.
Hello.
Travis, hi Travis. Thanks for coming, Travis. We got a few more. Mr. Benny, talk. Can you put on? Mandy, come, put on. Mr. Chan, Chris. Chris, is he here still here? Chris, can you put on your video, Chris? He's not.
To answer
Chris,
Max's question, I think all you need to do is just go straight to Francis or MPMA in this case to apply with them. And then we will facilitate from our side once we have gotten the application from the companies under the MPMA pavilion so that they can then disseminate to you the co-exhibitor registration as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Mr. YLU, thank you for coming, Mr. YLU. Nice to see you. Okay, Punita, are you going to help with the photograph? Okay, you want to give us the cue, Punita? Okay. Okay, one.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Click. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, Darshini, can do me a favor, Darshini. Your contact and Chan's contact, can you just put inside the Q&A in the chat group? Don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, we'll leave it. We'll leave the Q&A here. I think for just in case anybody wants to contact Darshini and Mr. Chan. Okay, with that, I'd like to thank once again Puan Rosanna, Lynn, and Chris for your wonderful presentations. And I hope the briefing has been enlightening to all the participants, and I do hope to see your registrations for participation in the MPMA Pavilion at 𝗠𝗣𝗠𝗀. With that, I'd like to wish everybody a good day, pleasant day, and I hope you all would have found the webinar beneficial. Okay, with that, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.